What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Scott and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. Today I'm excited to bring you our second top 10 video for the newly released Skyrim Special Edition. This week we're going to have a look at the top 10 most fun spells to use in Skyrim. There's no doubt that taking advantage of many unique spells is one of the most enjoyable ways to spend your time in the game, and we did the research to find out exactly which spells offer the most entertainment value. Whether it be a fun way to waste time or a satisfying way to mow down hordes of enemies, let's find out which spells came out on top. In the number 10 position we have the expert level illusion spell Invisibility. As you can probably gather from the name, this spell lets the caster go invisible for 30 seconds or 75 seconds when dual cast. This spell is the perfect pick for any stealth build, but even then, the sheer volume of shenanigans at the caster's disposal is too good to turn down even for the less stealthy characters. In combat, having the ability to disappear, pick the perfect attack strategy, and then ambush your enemy while they're totally oblivious to the threat is incredibly satisfying. Actions such as preparing spells, consuming items, or drawing weapons won't break the spell. The spell will only be broken when initiating attacks, stealing, casting, or other actions that may affect those around you. But whether you're in the thick of battle, stalking your prey, or entering places you really shouldn't be entering, the possibilities for the invisibility spell in the land of Skyrim are endless, and that's why it secured a spot on our top 10. Taking the spot at number 9, we have the adept level alteration spell Telekinesis. The Telekinesis spell is Skyrim's equivalent to the magic power that every kid tries to channel at some point in their life. With this spell, you can use the force to manipulate and maneuver objects with nothing but your mind, and when dual cast, can be used to grab multiple objects in close proximity. While it isn't very beneficial to pick up a cabbage and blast it at your foes in combat, this list is all about fun, and what could be more fun than living out the childhood fantasy of controlling things without touching them. It can be used to steal items in creative ways without being spotted, or to throw things at annoying NPCs to spook the townsfolk by making them seem like a ghost as lifting that inanimate object, or it can even be used to set up cabbage to bucket skill shots. The amusement value of this spell is enormous, and that's why Telekinesis ranks at number 9 on the list. As I mentioned before, the only real flaw of this spell is that it's basically useless in any serious life or death scenarios. At number 8 we have the spell far more deadly than the previous two. This is the expert level destruction spell Icy Spear. In the frozen tundras of Skyrim, it's hard to think of an attack more badass than impaling an opponent on a razor-sharp spear of ice fired at high speeds, and with the Icy Spear spell, this frosted projectile deals a devastating 60 points of frost damage. This projectile will always stagger a foe as well when used in tandem with the impact perk. So at max potential, one of these crystal javelins can send your adversaries flying to their deaths, and if you're feeling ambitious, aim for the noggin to output a whopping 100% bonus damage. Icy Spear is one of the most powerful and satisfying spells you can use in Skyrim. Continuing on, at number 7 we've got the adept level destruction spell Whirlwind Cloak, available in the Dragonborn DLC. After casting Whirlwind Cloak, opponents within melee range have a chance of being flung away. One of the great things about this spell is that it doesn't take away from whatever playstyle you happen to use in combat, and after being cast you can switch the spell out for whatever other weapons or spell would go in that hand. It's extremely satisfying to see the wind begin to swirl around your character, and it's handy knowing that anyone who tries their luck may be flung to the ground ready to be sliced and diced by your weapons. With this spell active, you'll take far fewer hits than usual, and it provides fantastic backup in combat, all while looking awesome. Whirlwind Cloak is practical for all builds and is a hell of a lot of fun. Checking in at number 6 is the adept level conjuration spell Bound Bow. Archery is a very fun and useful skill in the Elder Scrolls, but if you're playing a mage and can't be bothered hoarding and scavenging for arrows, Bound Bow is just the spell to use. Also, let's not neglect to mention that an ethereal version of the Daedric bow made entirely of translucent pale blue aura evokes significantly more badass vibes than any old tangible alternative. Casting Bound Bow equips the ethereal Daedric bow and 100 ethereal Daedric arrows for 120 seconds. It directly scales with the archery skill and has a base damage of 18, which is 1 less than the standard Daedric bow, but this increases to 24 if the Mystic Binding perk is taken. The Bound Bow has some other unique benefits missing from your standard bow. If you ever find yourself without your weapons, maybe you're in a jail, or maybe you've just left them on the kitchen counter back at Breezehome, being able to conjure a mystical bow and more arrows than you can fire from thin air will get you out of any sticky situation. Good luck to any guards trying to disarm you of a weapon that you spawn from thin air. At the halfway point of the countdown, rolling in at number 5 is the expert level illusion spell Pacify. Pacify is the ultimate spell to really mock your enemies, turning them from aggressors into lapdogs for 60 sweet seconds. Pacify emits an area of effect similar to destruction spells radius like Fireball. Any targets caught within the radius will stop being hostile and just sit there and chill out like nothing was up. This spell is a hell of a power trip when you assert your dominance over even the most belligerent foes. Why not save those arrows and conserve that stamina by instead forcing enemies to sit down and shut the fuck up. This spell can be especially useful when trying to navigate through dense hostile environments when killing everyone may be overly time consuming or unnecessary. Therefore, this spell is great for looting guarded areas and leaving without drawing weapons, and it offers some nice variety to the gameplay. Coming in at number 4, just shy of a place on the podium, is the adept level illusion spell Frenzy. Frenzy is essentially the exact opposite to Pacify, where Pacify calms enemies down, Frenzy incites chaos. If dual casted via the illusion dual casting perk and the Master of Mind perk is taken, no enemies with the exception of dragons will be immune to Frenzy. Frenzied targets within the area of effect become hostile towards everything around them, attacking whatever is closest or most threatening. If you think pacifying your enemies is degrading, then Frenzy is on a whole other level. You can rid NPCs of their free will and then watch in gratuitous enjoyment as they battle each other to the death. This spell is the best friend to the sadist in all of us. This spell is not only great for watching degenerate bandit buddies hack and slash each other for your satisfaction, but it also offers a great way for you to take out targets, whether for a quest or other reason, without you having to take responsibility for the assault or murder. Because fortunately, protecting yourself from a crazed assailant is no crime in the glorious province of Skyrim. This list of spells is all about entertainment value, and while the Dragonborn may be far quicker at taking out enemies, watching and laughing as they kill each other definitely delivers on the fun factor. And now it's time for the top 3 fun spells in Skyrim. Taking out the bronze is the Necromancer's Dream spell. At number 3 we have the Master Conjuration spell, Dead Thrall. As a Master tier spell, you'll need to slog through the skill level of 100 Conjuration, but for this spell it is absolutely worth the investment. Dead Thrall allows you to reanimate the dead body of most humanoid beings, including men, mer, and beast folk, to fight alongside you permanently until they are killed. If you happen to have the Twin Souls perk, you'll even have the opportunity to raise 2 corpses to fight for you. This spell is extremely fun to use, especially if you see an interesting NPC you happen to love or hate and you want them to be your companion. If they won't travel with you alive, just stick them with the pointy end of your sword and resurrect them to be your eternal servant. Yes, that sounds pretty insane, but there's no denying that it's a really fun mechanic. And if they happen to fall in combat, another great effect of Dead Thrall is that you can raise your dead thrall as many times as you want, as they won't turn to ash and will be forever available for your manipulation. In the second place, securing the silver medal, is the master level destruction spell, Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is a devastating spell that deals 75 points of shock damage to their health and half the magicka. It costs 138 magicka per second, and for the amount of damage exerted each second, it is 100% worth it. Lightning Storm allows the caster to produce immense beams of pure electricity capable of reducing even the most formidable enemies into steaming piles of ash. There is no spell that comes close to Lightning Storm for making you feel this powerful. The power of the blast from this spell is enough to put the Death Star to shame. Regardless of the race you choose for your character, this spell will be enough to convince you that you're actually part Saiyan. To get the most out of Lightning Storm, simply find a comfortable spot to stand just outside the reach of your enemies and then erase them from existence with a blast of conducted death. By the time you break out this spell, even Alduin will be wearing dragon diapers. For the record, if you happen to have both the augmented shock perks, Lightning Storm will output an unbelievable 112 damage per second, enough to melt an ancient dragon in a few seconds. Needless to say, this spell is an awful lot of fun to use. And here we have it, the last spell standing, taking the gold and coming in at number 1. This is Mass Paralysis. It is a master level alteration spell. Mass Paralysis leaves all targets within its area of effect paralyzed in place for 15 seconds, leaving only the caster free to maneuver the battlefield. Freezing every foe still, helpless and at your mercy, is as brilliant for you as it is terrifying for them. Watching usually intimidating opponents tumble hopelessly off bridges or down staircases is guaranteed to not only be hilarious, but also provides the feeling that everything in the world is at your mercy. No one, not even followers, thralls, and atronachs, are immune to its powerful effects. Skyrim is a land with a serious lack of safety railings in dangerous high-altitude areas, but rather than writing a formal letter of complaint, use the land to your advantage, pushing paralyzed bandits and beasts to their demise. Well, there you have it, guys. That concludes concludes our top 10 most fun spells in Skyrim Special Edition. Be sure to give us thoughts on your favorite spells down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like and share it with your friends. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for the very best Fallout and Elder Scrolls videos around, and links to our social media accounts can be found just below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you next time.